Hello, shall we start, sir? Christopher sir, shall we start?
Yes, madam. I am ready.
Okay, sir. Okay. Principal sir.
Yes, madam.
Madam. Hello, madam.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Hello. Ragini, madam.
Shall we start, sir?
Okay. Go ahead, madam. Go ahead.
Okay. Honorable Dr. A. Chandramouli, Principal, respected dignitaries, and ladies and gentlemen, I, Dr. Ragini Chintaman Patil, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, Arts and Commerce Science College, Savli, District Chandrapur. It gives me an immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all you present here on behalf of the Bharat Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, District Chandrapur, Maharashtra. I would also like to express our gratitude to our esteemed guests who have accepted our invitation. Welcome you all on 7 days virtual national webinar on research methodology day 2. I welcome Honorable Dr. Thamidala Christopher Reuben, Honorable Dr. Atul Nagapure, Honorable Dr. A. Chandramouli, Principal, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, Convener, Dr. Prerna Modak, HOD, Department of Physics, and Mr. Sandeep Deshmukh, HOD, Department of Chemistry, co-convener, Dr. Rajeshri Markandevar, Department of Chemistry, Mr. Mukesh Nikhade, Department of Physics, Mr. Ashish Shende, Department of Physics. I welcome Honorable Dr. Thamidala Christopher Reuben. I find immense pleasure in introducing our honorable speaker, Sir, Dean Research and Faculty Development, Chaitanya Dean University, Warangal, from Department of Biotechnology. Sir has 15 years of teaching experience and 20 years research experience. He obtained his master and doctoral degree in biotechnology. Sir has published around 48 research papers. He has received 3 fellowships and awards. Sir has 3 major research projects. He has 8 PhD students currently working under his guidance. Sir has 8 chapters published in books. Sir has been resource person for various webinars and workshops and deliver guest lecture organized by Biotechnology Department of various colleges in India and abroad. Sir has a membership of 10 academics bodies. Now I request Dr. Christopher sir to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Can you permit me to share my PPT?
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, madam, for your good words about me. Especially, I thank Dr. Chandramouli sir, who's the principal, and also Sandeep Deshmukh. Though I have not seen anybody so far, only I am seeing them on the screen today. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your good words about me and giving me an opportunity to talk on biodiversity and biotechnology today. My special thanks are to the chief patrons, Shri Sandeep Bau, President, BSPM Saudi Maharashtra, Shri Rajbal Patil, Sangitwar, Secretary, BSP Saudi Maharashtra. Special thanks to Honorable Principal Sir, Dr. A. Chandramouli Sir. It is because of our Vice Chancellor, Professor G. Damodar, That was how I was able to come for this particular workshop. Conveners, I thank Dr. Prerana Modak, HOD Physics, Dr. Sandeep Deshmukh, HOD Chemistry, and Coordinator for IQAC. I also thank the co-conveners, Dr. Rajashri, Dr. Rajni Patel, Mr. Mukesh, Mr. Ashish Shende, for your good words and comforting words. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I will be sharing the slides, so you can ask me questions in between or at the end. I'll be able to answer. My presentation pertains to interdisciplinary research that is going on in our country. What type of research prospects are there? I will be dealing with all those aspects. My focus will be on biotechnology and also conservation of biodiversity. This is only to enthuse research scholars and also MSc students. Mostly my topic pertains to plant science, animal science, human science. So I apologize if I'm not touching the other areas. Okay, so I congratulate Principal Sir and his team for remembering the National Science Day, which is really a worth workshop that you are conducting, because on this day it was Sri C.V. Raman, who was awarded Nobel Prize in 1928 for C.V. Raman's effect. He's one of the greatest scientists, experimental scientists from India, and he's a physicist. This is one very important thing. Today I will be talking more of other branches also. So I congratulate the college where Principal Sir and his team are working very hard. And interestingly, physics and chemistry department are organizing this particular workshop. I congratulate them for this workshop. Okay, so basically I belong to a plant science. So I've actually classified science and technology into main three classes, that is life sciences, physical sciences, and mathematical sciences. So in life sciences, we have botany, zoology, physical sciences, physics, chemistry. Mathematical sciences, we have mathematics, computer science, and engineering. All these aspects deal with various studies of microorganisms pertaining to plants, also humans, animals, birds. And physical science, especially physics, the structural properties, and then chemistry, the chemical properties. One very interesting thing is that after computer science has come up, there is a lot of interest in application of computer science, application of mathematics, application of statistics to biological systems. Through my lecture, I'll be able to present various things that have happened through the history. So this is a nutshell that science and technology has evolved for the benefit of man. Okay, so here I wish to mention some important scientists of our country. A great Indian scientist, B.P. Pal, an Indian plant breeder from Indian Council of Agricultural Research. He was the first Director General of ICAR. And then Ronald Ross, he was responsible for identifying malaria disease in Hyderabad. Because of his work today, we know that malaria is transmitted because of mosquitoes. And then M.S. Swaminathan, I don't know why the world has not recognized him for a Nobel Prize. Because of Professor Swaminathan, today India has become from a food deficit country to a food surplus country. So it is his innovative ideas and research that has enabled India to become self-sufficient. Yeah, I've also on National Science Day also recognized several plant scientists. Several of the plant scientists who have really contributed to the science and technology development in our country. mostly Jagdish Chandra Bose sir, he worked on plant movements. Panchanan Maheshwari worked on embryology. Sipra Guha Mukherjee is a lady scientist from JNU. She's no more, but she was the first lady to do good work in tissue culture. Ashish Datta was a JNU professor, vice chancellor. Then we have Deepak Paintal. He's from University of Hyderabad, Delhi University. He was the vice chancellor. And then we have from South India, Lakshmi Sita from IIC Bangalore and Professor G.M. Reddy from Hyderabad. And various other scientists have contributed for the growth and development of science in this country. Okay, so my first topic is biodiversity. What we find on this slide is, on this earth, we have 8.7 million living species, a huge number, of which only 1.3 million species have been identified. That means there is good scope for us to work on 7.4 million species. So students can do exploratory research into this. They can study microorganisms, they study plants, they study medicinal plants. So there is a good scope for us still before they vanish from the surface of this earth, because few slides are there next which I will tell you. So all the students can take up good research work into exploratory research of these species. And then in our country, we have Botanical Survey of India, Zoological Survey of India, all universities and colleges like yours and various institutes, they are working on conservation of biodiversity, which is very, very important. I have presented two important pictures. One is tiger, which is the pride of our country, a national animal, and the national bird is peacock. Tiger has to be protected. Tiger has to be a part of our system, because a lot of efforts are being made in CCMB Hyderabad. Professor Lalji Singh had worked on this. So I'll also tell you some information on that. So our primary concern now is biodiversity conservation. And there is a good scope for all the researchers to undertake research, exploratory research into the 7.4 billion species on the earth. Okay. So on the left side, you have animal biodiversity. On the right side, we have a plant diversity. There's a huge scope for us to protect our biodiversity, to protect our plant and animal animals, so that future generations will be useful for them. Okay. So this picture is about preservation of plants, herbaria, you call it this. We collect twigs and we preserve them on a herbarium sheet, and this is stored for a very long period of time. So this is how we are trying to document all the plant species that we have. Yeah, India is 17th megadiversity country in the world. We have 7.6% of all mammals in our country, 12.6% of all birds in our country, 6.2% of all reptiles, and 4.4% of all amphibians. 33% plant species are endemic to our country. Nowhere, they are found nowhere. As for example, take red sanders, red sandalwood. These are all our mango. These are all our plant species, and they are endemic to our country. We need to safeguard and protect them. Okay, so I trying to present some animals. These are critically endangered. A day is not far when we don't protect them. They will vanish from this earth. Himalayan brown bear is critically endangered. Okay, Kashmir stag is critically endangered. Sumatran rhinoceros is critically endangered. So this is the need when researchers have to look into conservation of biodiversity using biotechnological tools and also other conservation methods. So I try to present to the students that we have to work on these particular lines. Yeah, this is one of the greatest conservation efforts being made. This is called the Great Indian Bustard, present only in Rajasthan, nowhere else. Now it has spread to other parts, to Maharashtra, to Andhra Pradesh, to some extent, to Karnataka, to Gujarat, but it is originally native to Rajasthan. This is a critically endangered bird now. India is making a lot of efforts to conserve. We need to study the life cycle of this plant, of this beautiful bird, and then there is a good scope for researchers to turn it. Yeah, this is endangered plant species. The red panda is in Indian wild dog is endangered. Okay, then Assam rabbit, Himalayan musk deer. So many animals are endangered. The one earlier I showed are critically endangered. If the same method of hunting them continues, I think sometime later you'll not find them on the surface of the earth. You'll find them only on paper. You'll find them only on photographs. But these have to be protected. If these have to be protected, researchers from all departments, I'll be coming to that later on, all departments need to conserve them, need to protect them. Yeah, this is a house sparrow. In my childhood, I used to see them flying in our houses. Now today, the house sparrow is not visible. It is only in the fringes of the towns and cities, or to some extent, some villages, confined to some villages. This has to be protected. It is said that because of the cell phone vibrations, that cell phone, for 4G cell phone vibrations, these birds are becoming endangered. A lot of work has to be done in protecting these particular birds, which are very important for us. Yeah, and most important, I would think, is your Indian honeybee. Indian honeybee is one of the greatest pollinators. Without Indian honeybee, we will not have seed production, both in agricultural field as well as in the wild. Honeybee is so important these days. We realize the importance of honeybee for seed production, for crop production. Without honeybee, we are going to face a lot of problems. Now the problem is, because of excessive use of pesticide, honeybees are dying. There is an attack by European honeybee also. So there is a good scope for researchers as well as students to undertake apiculture in farms or in fields that are near to our towns and cities. Students can be assigned a small project to have apiculture so that they can grow honeybees, and then it is not only useful for seed production but also provides honey. So students also will learn the importance of honeybee. Yeah, and as I've told you, that Project Tiger was initiated by Professor Lalji Singh in Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology at Hyderabad, because the numbers were shrinking. He has made a lot of efforts. Now it is stabilized. You hope that the numbers will increase. The pride of our country has to be protected. So this is one area where students can get involved into this. And then the second important thing is, a lot of medicinal plants are becoming endangered. Before medicinal plants become endangered, before they become extinct, we need to barcode them. DNA barcoding is one of the area where we can fingerprint each plant, each medicinal plant, aromatic plants, so that we can conserve these plants, their seeds, their bulbs, their leaves, etc. So this is one more area where scholars can really look into, because India, we have Ayurveda, a very big industry that needs to give good attention, because a lot of medicinal plants are there in our country, and a lot of central government institutions are working on them. So students also can document some of these medicinal plants which are endemic to your area or endemic to Western Ghats, because these are rich biodiversity centers in our country. I am trying to tell you some information that I am working on. I'm trying to project to you. This is called Ridge Gourd. This Ridge Gourd, we are working on Ridge Gourd. So one of the important pollinator of this Ridge Gourd is the Indian honeybee. Okay, so while we were trying to study this, how pollination takes place, we found very interesting things, which I will try to show to you. Yeah, this is the male flower. The honeybee is hovering over the male flower. Yeah, so that is the first flower. This is the female flower. See the honeybee behavior on a female flower. So in these two cases, what we found was honeybee, in the first case of the male flower, is trying to vibrate the anthers so that the pollen grain come out. And then it can collect the pollen grain. But in coming to a female flower, there is no pollen, there is no anther, so it does not vibrate. So intelligent is this insect. When it visits male flower, it uses its wings to vibrate. When it visits a female flower, it does not use its vibration technique to gather pollen. There is no pollen in there. Okay. Here we can include other branches also to find out what is the frequency of vibration, which will break the anther to release the pollen grain. And this is natural. And this insect, this fly, is so clever in trying to collect the pollen from male flower and does not vibrate when it comes to the female flower. So this is one area when you can work on different other plants also and see how Indian honeybee works. The fourth is conservation of germplasm. You can use tissue culture, we can use seeds, you can use tubers, you do cryopreservation. At least for future, we need these seeds, these bulbs, these propagules for conservation. Otherwise, we lose a lot of our biodiversity. So this is a seed conservation lab in ICAR. They are preserving all the types of seeds that are available in the country in cold rooms so that it can be used for future generations, right? Okay. And then there's another concept is reviving Egyptian mummies. People are interested to revive, to develop an individual from Egyptian mummies, which were there in the human past. Okay, and then there is a 3D scanning of this, so that they are going to develop some of these techniques, apply techniques to revive mummified ones. Okay, this is another presentation slide. Can we revive from the preserved remains called fossils, plants, animals? In this presentation slide, I can show you some teeth of a dinosaur or a seashell or an animal fossil in the rock. So scientists are now trying to regain, revive, restore, whether it is possible to develop a plant or an animal from its fossil. Yeah, this is a dinosaur. So DNA is being used now. These days can be really revive, restore a dinosaur using its DNA. People are working on this aspect. Okay, so far I have presented to you about biodiversity, conservation, and there is a lot of scope for students to work on biodiversity conservation, various methods. Students can organize groups and then develop good projects on this particular aspect. The second thing that I would be dealing with is biotechnology. Biotechnology is the application of science and technology to biological organisms for industrial production of biomolecules without sacrificing or without jeopardizing the environment. Okay, we are interested in good number of products from biological organisms, but we should not disturb the environment. We should not cause pollution. And DNA is the soul of all this development, that is biotechnology. His father of biotechnology is Louis Pasteur. Then Carl Ericke was the person who coined the term biotechnology. Yeah. All of us know that one word, biotechnology, but UNESCO has classified all the classes of biotechnology to 10 colors. Red biotechnology deals with medical and health. White biotechnology deals with industrial. Green biotechnology deals with agriculture. Gold biotechnology deals with bioinformatics and nanotechnology. Blue biotechnology deals with aquaculture, most in the coastal and marine. Yellow biotechnology deals with food, nutrition, and insects. Brown biotechnology deals with arid zone and desert. Gray biotechnology deals with environment and ecology. Purple biotechnology is one of the very important and growing aspect is that intellectual property rights. Students can be given this particular aspect, how intellectual property right can do and good publications can be made into that. And then the last one is the dark biotechnology, where biological weapons are developed for bioterrorism. So these are some of the 10 colors that the word biotechnology includes. Okay, right. From here, I am trying to suggest to the research scholars and students that basic research was done earlier, where we were concerned with only one discipline. We call it as natural science, or you call it as physical science or mathematical science. Okay, so we got botany, zoology, physics, chemistry. But these are the days of interdisciplinary research, in which two or more disciplines are added or work together. For example, take cell biology. In cell biology, we study about plant cell, we study about animal cell, we study about a microbe, but physics has an important role to play. Chemistry has an important role to play. Without using a microscope, without using a stain, you cannot see the internal organs of cell. So what we try to understand is that cell biology is truly an interdisciplinary work. So students can get interested and work on this particular aspect. So also genetics and breeding, where we have biological sciences plus mathematical sciences. Going to biomolecules like chemistry and physics, like the DNA discoverers were actually not from biology, they were chemists, they were physicists. So biomolecules, in which we have chemistry and physics, so branches are there. The third one is multidisciplinary research. Different disciplines, no boundaries. Different disciplines, but no boundaries. Okay, so microbiology, biochemistry, bioinformatics, biotechnology, biomathematics, biophysics. So there is to be a marriage between life sciences, chemistry, and pharmacy. This is the need of the hour. All have to come together. All have to get involved into multidisciplinary research, whereas there is a great scope for our students also to take up this kind of work. And the last one is a transdisciplinary research. Now there is no barrier. Transcend all traditional barriers. So what is transdisciplinary research? Take, for example, biomedical engineering. In biomedical engineering, we study about medicine, biophysics, artificial intelligence, engineering, we study about anthropology. So all these aspects can combine. Coming to rDNA technology, again, we have microbiology, biochemistry, medical science, life sciences, then stem cell engineering, medical science, biotechnology, biochemistry. And the latest one is omics, where we study biotechnology, biochemistry, biophysics, computer science. So there are no barriers in transdisciplinary research. So any student, any researcher can interact with the other department. Biological sciences, botany teacher, botany student, botany researcher can interact with physics, with mathematics, with chemistry. So there are no boundaries now. So now we are in the era of transdisciplinary research. So I urge all the students to really interact with your teachers so that you can come up with good ideas and then innovative ideas, and then you can work on those particular aspects. Okay, I have some scientists' names here. Herbert Boyer, Norman Cohen, they are RDNA technologists. Ingo Podricus, I'll tell you some about them. These are the two scientists who have developed first transgenic mouse with breast cancer, how breast cancer evolves. And here is Carrie Mullis. He is responsible for discovering polymerase chain reaction and thermocycler. And this is the lady who is responsible for bioinformatics, Margaret O'Dehoff. She's the lady who has actually started, she's the mother of bioinformatics, and she's the lady who, so all these scientists have really contributed to the growth and development. Okay, I've told you that after the discovery of DNA structure, things began to change. 1953. Okay, I've told you that Francis Harry, Crick, Watson and Crick, you call it as, and Wilkins. Okay, and this lady is Franklin Rosalind. They are not from biological sciences. They are from physics and they are from chemistry. Okay, and mathematics were applied to it, and Nobel Prize was awarded to them for 1962. This lady wasn't there, so she was not given Nobel Prize. 1962, and then 1958 we had stem cell therapy. What is stem cell therapy? Can we grow an organ from a stem cell? Because in human body there are different type of 200 types of cells are there. Can we grow a kidney in a laboratory or in a model organism? So stem cell studies were there. So there is a good scope for undertaking work, basic work at least in stem cell therapy. See here in this picture, you can see the animal, the laboratory animal is having ear. We are now able to grow ear in the laboratory using stem cell culture. Okay, so this is one contribution from that. Then IVF, everybody knows. 2010, Edward was awarded Nobel Prize. Louis Joy Brown is the first test tube baby. This has happened in 1978. You know what is the result of this? Today in India, we have all fertility centers coming up. This is the work done by Patrick Steptoe and Edward, who have really contributed for IVF, and then this is now used here. And then we have Anand Chakravarti, the first patent on genetically engineered microorganism, that is oil-eating bacteria. He was responsible for that. He was awarded a patent for this particular engineering feat. And then in 1982, we have RDNA technology products. First RDNA technology project called Humulin. Humulin is given to diabetic patients. Now, what is available in the market is an RDNA product. Yeah, I've told you IVF, 1965. We have in vitro fertilization. Now in vitro fertilization is now accepted, and a lot of fertility centers have come up across our country. And then we have bioprinting. Bioprinting is printing layer by layer organs. It's called bioartificial organs. It's a three-dimensional organ bioprinting. So this is the technique that now they are using. I can show you now. They can create a heart layer by layer. They can create a heart in the laboratory. We want kidneys to be created in the laboratory. So printing technique is now being used for developing organs, so organ transplant. Then in gene therapy was first accepted. A 4-year-old Ashint De Silva was given gene therapy treatment where SCI, severe combined immunodeficiency, was there. So he was treated with, she was treated with ADA gene. And then golden rice. Rice here contains vitamin A. Loss of vitamin A, deficiency in vitamin A causes blindness in children. Ingo Putraikas from Switzerland, he was responsible for developing this technique, and now it is available world over. People are using this. This is the first animal cloning. Ian Wilmot was first responsible for animal cloning. The name is called Dolly. This is a technique of animal cloning. And then BT cotton. BT cotton is now prevalent in our country because regular cotton is not grown now. We have only BT cotton being grown. It is protected from the pest that we see on the slide here. So pest-free cotton are produced. And then Human Genome Project, 2003 was started, and then it's really a great boon for medical science because you can fish out a gene at any stage from any chromosome because we know the sequence now. And then 2006 in South Korea, a dog was cloned from a dead dog tissue. A dead dog's tissue was taken up and cloning was done. So you get a dog regenerated, a new dog was produced. So you have these clones. And then golden banana. This is really a benefit for Africa because bananas are staple food for Africans. So they're very happy now. Banana also has vitamin A in it now. So transgenic bananas have been produced for the benefit of Africa, where the staple food is banana. And then 2021, we should be grateful to our Pradhan Mantri because of him and his efforts. We have vaccine in our country. Every individual is able to get vaccine. So vaccine development is also one of the greatest contribution that we can think of. Yeah, I urge all the viewers today, participants today, please go through this small movie. In this movie, insurance company creates these two individuals. These two individuals are actually purchased by stakeholders, so that suppose the stakeholder wants heart, wants lungs, wants kidneys, so they will be taken up from these two individuals. It's a good story. You can have a look at it if you want. This is the human cloning. This is one area. This is a fiction. We're not allowed to do this research now. Ethics come in place, so we are not interested, but you can have an idea what exactly is happening world over. So this is human cloning. Yeah. Prospective areas of research in life science. Okay. As already told you, biodiversity, barcoding is needed. Biosensors, gadgets with biological recognition systems. Okay. So that will comes under genomics. And then bioinformatics, DNA, RNA, protein sequencing, bioremediation. Yeah, this is one very small, very important these days. That is degrading plastics. Plastics have become a major pollutants now. People are trying to work out to dissolve, to remove this plastic. So this is another area where we can really work on degrading plastics. Then in biochemistry, chemistry of biological organisms. Then in biotechnology, science and technology, biomedical engineering is another area where we need more medical equipment, diagnostic equipment. Also producing recombinant protein through molecular farming. Then cryopreservation, biofertilizers, biochips, biologicals, and biomechanics. These are the prospective areas. I have some more areas. You can see them. See, in medical and health science, I have enlisted so many. For example, RNA virus, we need vaccine for COVID-19. Mutant strain. Then we have parasites and vectors. We need vaccines for malaria, malarial vaccines to be needed. For cancer, we need telomerase and cancer biology studies. So these are the areas: hemophilia, gene therapy, AIDS, again, we need vaccine. Then Human Genome Project can be used for genetic curing. Gene therapy can be used there. So these are medical and health areas where we can use. Another important area is bacteria have become resistant to antibiotics. So we need more newer antibiotics because they have become resistant to drugs. And then we have animal biotechnology, fisheries, veterinary science, pharmaceutical science, biophysics, climatology, bioremediation. So these are areas where there is a scope for students to work, especially research scholars to work, and they can take up this kind of research work also. Microbiology, biodiversity, plant biotechnology, I've enlisted some of them. For example, take plant biotechnology, secondary metabolites can be produced by tissue cultures, which should be used for pharmacy. Okay, biodiversity is in situ and ex situ conservation methods. Genomics, we can apply CRISPR-Cas technology. So these are some aspects that students can look and work. Very important area is this. And then I have some wild questions. Students can really think on them. Is animal cloning a step forward to human cloning? Of course, ethical issues are there. Do birds have biological clock? Can we engineer hibernation genes from polar bears into a gymnosperm? Can we substitute human leg muscle with wing muscles of Siberian cranes? Does dog tick suck blood from humans? How frog avoids skin infections? Can we engineer genes of human bird into a goose? Will banana, potato light up the incandescent bulb, a 0-watt bulb? Can we create a photosynthetic amoeba? What happens if cancer cell is provided with a wall made up of bacterial capsule? Will vampire bats spread disease in poultry and cattle? Can we apply egg membrane to burn patients? Genetically modified organisms or bacteria, can they produce electricity? Mobile vibrations endangered house sparrow in Telangana. What is the mechanism of transport of water in plants against gravity? All these are wild questions. I have also given some pictures. You can have a look at them. So here is a banana plant, and here's a potato. They are trying to see if we can blow a bulb. Yeah, will genetically engineered bacteria produce electricity? Amoeba may offer a key clue to photosynthetic evolution. And then we can create new transgenic birds with green fluorescent protein. So the bird will be green in color. The chick will be green in color. This is a model for gene therapy. And the last thing that we see here is India is, this is a statement made by Bill Gates. India is very inspiring. Because it has made huge strides in improving the health of its people over the past 2 decades. And now India's research manufacturing capacity will be critical to fight COVID-19, especially when it comes to make vaccine at large scale. Serum Institute of India is in Maharashtra. We are very grateful that they have been able to provide us with your vaccine. All of us are very grateful to this company. Also in Hyderabad, we have Bharat Biotech. many other companies in our country are making a lot of strides effort. And this is Bill Gates' statement that India is improving health of its people over the past 2 decades. Students have good scope for getting opportunity, job opportunity in medical and pharma industry. Okay, they can go into agri-biotech, food industry, bio industrial products. Golden biotechnology is your medical transcription, genome projects. They can get opportunity there. And then purple biotechnology, this is one very interesting thing, intellectual property right. And the fifth one is students can take up teaching. More and more students need to look at biodiversity conservation as well as applications of biotechnology for human welfare. Namaskar. Thank you very much. I'll be happy if there is any question.
Now the session is open for discussion. If any participants have query, they can ask to sir. Okay, now I will call upon Mr. Mukesh Nikhade sir to present vote of thanks.
Thank you.
सर आवाज नाही येते सर. सर निखाडे सर.
ओके सर. ओके. सर आवाज येतो.
Hello, Ragini madam.
Yes, sir.
So should you propose vote of thanks?
निखाडे सर.
So his problem is technical glitches. He don't have internet connectivity. Ragini madam.
Voice not coming, sir.
निखाडे सर. आवाज येतोय निखाडे सर. निखाडे सर.
Voice not coming, sir.
Doctor, I request Dr. Modakman to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to for the vote of thanks to Dr. Christopher, sir. First of all, I would like to say the presentation was awesome, and I hope all the participants are mesmerized with the presentation and lecture. And the topics sir covered was really very helpful in terms of research. Especially transdisciplinary research and the prospective areas of research in life sciences were very interesting. While questions and queries really make us, the student to think about the research in the discussed field. So once again, I would like to thank Christopher sir. Thank you for being with us and being the part of our one-day research methodology program. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Principal, sir. Deshmukh, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
सर कनेक्शन डिस्कनेक्ट झालं होतं.
ओके झालंय.
ठीक.
हो, मॅडमनी केलाय.
Okay. So this is the second day, second session for our lecture, and in this session, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce and welcome our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about how to write research proposal or dissertations. So our resource person is an eminent personality, Dr. B.K. Magre sir. He's serving as a professor in Department of Chemistry, Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kannad, Aurangabad. He has done his PhD in complexation studies of medicinal drugs in 2011. He published 41 research papers in various journals and preceding conferences. He completed 2 UGC minor research projects. He also received an award honor for his contribution to the society. I request Dr. B.K. Magre sir to start his presentation. Magre sir, please.
Hello. Hello. Sir, good morning, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Shall I start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a minute. I would like to share my screen, first of all, and then I will start.
Yes.
My screen is visible, sir.
No, sir.
Hello?
No, sir.
Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, maximize.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, good morning to everyone. It's my great pleasure to be here with you on occasion of National Workshop on Research Methodology. And the topic of my today's lecture is how to write research proposal and dissertations. So as we know very well that this topic itself indicates that there are 2 points which are included in this topic, that is how to write research proposal and dissertations. So actually this if you see the title or topic of today's lecture, then you will find that there are the 2 points, that means research proposal and dissertations. So research proposal is the starting point or starting aspect of today's lecture, whereas dissertation is the we can say the 1 points or aspects which we have to submit after completion of research work. So though these 2 are the different aspects, both are required some common things, and that are both are required ideas, both are required the data collections, and both are required the skill in order to present one. So when this almost all things are collected together and processed well, then there is a good research proposal or dissertations. So that's why we have to think about the both things separately and very systematically. So in order to have some important instructions that are the first of all, in order to write research proposal as well as dissertations, you should have to hello you should have some common points, and that we have to consider. That fonts, first of all, font we can represent, that means Times New Roman font we can generally select as per as research proposal and dissertations also. Size 12 points, spacing double or sometimes 1.5, printing single pages, alignment always be justified, margin left 1.5, right 1, top and bottom also we can maintain 1. So let us come first of all the research proposal that we have to see. Actually, research proposal has different terminologies, and that terminologies are as follows. Sometimes research proposal are also known as the research outline, synopsis of research, research project itself, thesis plan, or sometimes abstract, and it is prepared before starting of work. So let us see what is this research proposal. It deals with it actually deals with an idea of researchers about what the research help or which are going to complete his work. What objectives and methodology he or she has to set in order to have the research proposal. How much time and resources are required in order to complete this research proposal. So in this way, different aspect we have to think as far as research proposal is concerned. Actually, this research proposal is nothing but the blueprint of future activities which we have to represent in the research project. Some sort of preconceived framework is nothing but the research proposal. And proposal should have sufficient information which we have to represent before the readers that you have an important research idea to give the research proposal one. Now, in order to have the research proposal, here we have to think some important aspect. First of all, in order to write research proposal, what we required, and that is an idea. If you will have a good idea, if you will have a specific idea, then your proposal will be very good and it will be represented systematically. So in order to have the research proposal, first of all, we have to ask some question yourself. First of all, why we need this research proposal, then we can be able to think about this specific idea. What you will do after thinking about your idea, how will you do something about this research proposal, how will you interpret the results which are obtained after completion of the research project. So this point, first of all, we have to ask yourself, and then we have to write this research proposal. Again, in order to write objective, we have to think about same point, that means what you will do, why it should be done, how will you do, and what you expect from this one. And again, I would like to tell you that a vague, weak, fuzzy proposal should be avoided. Long, painful proposals should be avoided in order to have the good idea about this one. Actually, the research proposal is nothing but the very important estimate to have your research work one. Now, let us see the importance of this research proposal one. So the importance of this research proposal, in order to have the importance of this research proposal, the main purpose of this research proposal is to convince the reader of your project values. You will have to prove that you have a plan of your work, and that will project yourself to for that one. So in this way, you can be able to represent the research proposal. Your reader has to be sure that it is not another useless piece of writing, but a profound research work that will be extremely important for the science one. A research proposal is intended to convince other that you have a worthwhile research project, and that you have to competence and the work plan to complete it. Generally, the research proposal should contain all key elements involved in the research process and include sufficient information for the reader to evaluate the proposal study. Regardless of your research area and methodology you choose, all the research proposal must address the following questions, and that questions are: what you plan to accomplish, why you want to do it, and how you are going to do it. These are the some important aspect in order to see the research proposal. It is very, very important to write a specific good research proposal, and then it can be, we can say, granted by the readers or higher authority, or we can say the funding authorities one. So again, let us see first of all the some components or elements of research proposal. Actually, if you will see any proposal, there are different type of proposal have been mentioned in different areas, but there are some common and specific elements, and that I would like to share with you. So research proposal or synopsis contains first of all titles, then second introductions, statement of problems, rationale and context, or justifications or significance of research work, background of this research work or gap in existing research work, hypothesis, literature review of proposed topics, aim and objectives, methodology, ethical issues, plan of works, budget, again the is chapter outline, outcome, and reference list. So these are the some important components which we have to deal in order to write the good research proposal. So let us come towards one by one. First of all, let us see the titles one. So in order to write the good research proposal, so first of all, we have to think about the first page, or we can say the covering page. So covering page is also very, very important in order to represent your good research proposal. This covering page or first page include the title of research, researcher's name, name of institute or organization where research belongs, name of sponsoring organization, name of supervisors. If co-supervisor is there, we can mention date also we can mention. So these are the some points which we can see as far as title page is concerned or first page is concerned. Here I have shared one of the synopsis page, first page, cover page, in order to have clear idea. Now, in selecting the title, this title is very, very important, and in selecting this title, following points should be care of in order to give a specific good title one. Now, see, in selecting the title, first of all, what we have to do? Your title should be reflect the theme of research. This is very, very important. If your title is not specific, your title is not going to reflect the theme of your research plan, then it would not be the good proposal, or it will be rejected in first level also. So it should be, again, second important point, be self-explanatory. Whatever title is there, that should be self-explanatory. Then and then it can be possible. So I would like to convey that please mute yourself. So third point, title should be brief one. Language should be simple and ambiguous one. Be specific to particular domain one. Again, bracket, arithmetic figures, etc. should be avoided while writing or considering the title one. Avoid confusing meanings. It should be concise and descriptive. Title, though title is, we can say, the two are one lines, but it is very, very important in order to write the research proposal one. Now, see the next point, that is the introductions. So as far as introduction is concerned, we have to consider the following important points. That is, we have to give the theoretical backgrounds, we have to give the background of the problems, we have to give the rational and context or justification of your titles, significance of your research, gap in existing research work. This important aspect we have to consider as far as writing the introduction. If you will see the introduction of most of the synopsis, then very vague introduction has written by number of students. So in order to have the introductions, you should be specific according to your titles one, according to your theme one, according to your background of research one. So this aspect you should consider as far as introduction is concerned. मित्रांनो, इंट्रोडक्शन आणि टायटल ह्या दोन गोष्टी अशा इम्पॉर्टंट आहेत तुमच्या रिसर्च प्रपोजल मध्ये की सुरुवातीला कुठलाही ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही तुमचं रिसर्च प्रपोजल एखाद्या एजन्सीला सबमिट करता सँक्शनिंग साठी किंवा तुमच्या वर्क करण्यासाठी, तर ते टायटल बघतात आणि इंट्रोडक्शन यावर त्यांचा मेन फोकस असतो. तर टायटल सुद्धा तुमचं स्पेसिफिक असावं, पूर्ण तुमचं टोटल जे थीम आहे, तुमचं वर्किंगचं थीम आहे हे त्यातून रिप्रेझेंट व्हावं आणि फार सिंपल पाहिजे, असे कन्फ्युजिंग वर्ड त्यामध्ये नसायला हवेत. असे काही इम्पॉर्टंट ऍस्पेक्ट तुम्ही टायटल सिलेक्ट करत असताना कन्सिडर करायला हवेत. आणि इंट्रोडक्शन ज्यावेळेस मी बऱ्याच जणांचे सिनॉप्सिस किंवा रिसर्च प्रपोजल बघतो त्यावेळेस माझ्या असं लक्षात आलेलं आहे की इंट्रोडक्शन मध्ये उगीच एक भाराभर, आपण म्हणतो भाराभर गोष्टी त्यामध्ये मेन्शन केलेल्या असतात. म्हणून टायटल लिहित असताना काही स्पेसिफिक गोष्टी आपण लक्षात ठेवायला पाहिजे की इंट्रोडक्शन लिहित असताना काही गोष्टी स्पेसिफिक लक्षात ठेवणं गरजेचं आहे. आणि त्या म्हणजे की त्यामध्ये आपल्या टायटलला अनुरूप आपण इंट्रोडक्शन लिहिलंय का, त्याचं बॅकग्राऊंड दिलंय का, दॅट इज सो मच इम्पॉर्टंट. आणि सर्व जे काही तुमचं रेफरन्सिंग असतील, त्याच्यामध्ये बॅकग्राऊंड असेल, ते सर्व तुमच्या ज्या टायटल आहे किंवा तुमची जी कन्सेप्ट आहे, तुमची जी आयडिया आहे त्याशी रिलेटेड असायला हवं. हा खूप खूप महत्वाचा पॉइंट आहे. त्यानंतर दुसरा महत्वाचा मुद्दा याच्यामध्ये की जे सिग्निफिकन्स आहे, जे स्कोप अँड इम्पॉर्टन्स आहे, ते सुद्धा तुमच्या टॉपिकला सोडून नसायला. काहीतरी नेटवर भरपूर असा डाटा सर्वांना माहिती आहे की नेटवर सर्व गोष्टी मुबलक प्रमाणात अवेलेबल आहे, परंतु सध्याच्या काळामध्ये आपल्याला माहित आहे वी आर लिव्हिंग इन मॉडर्न एज ऑफ सायन्स वन. आणि अशा प्रकारच्या एज मध्ये आपण राहत असताना काही गोष्टी आपल्याला लक्षात ठेवायला हव्यात. आणि त्या म्हणजे भरपूर डाटा अवेलेबल आहे, भरपूर मॅटर अवेलेबल आहे, भरपूर रेफरन्सेस अवेलेबल आहेत. मग हे सर्व अवेलेबल असताना तुम्हाला स्पेसिफिकपणे सिस्टमॅटिकपणे रिप्रेझेंट करणं आवश्यक आहे, तुमची आयडिया त्यामध्ये युटिलाइज करणं आवश्यक आहे, तुमची स्किल त्यामध्ये युटिलाइज करणं आवश्यक आहे. तर हे करत असताना तुम्हाला काही गोष्टी तुमच्या, मी जे पॉइंट्स किंवा ऍस्पेक्ट कंपोनंट्स याच्यामध्ये सांगितलेले आहेत, त्या कंपोनंटच्या बाहेर तुमची रायटिंग किंवा तुमचं रिसर्च प्रपोजल रायटिंग जाता कामा नाही, ही गोष्ट तुम्हाला कन्सिडर करणं आवश्यक आहे. आणि म्हणून तुम्हाला याच्यामध्ये हे जे मी तुम्हाला सांगितलं की त्याचं थेरॉटिकल बॅकग्राऊंड काय आहे, त्याचं प्रॅक्टिकल बॅकग्राऊंड काय आहे, तुमच्या प्रॉब्लेमचं बॅकग्राऊंड काय आहे, तुमचं जस्टिफिकेशन काय आहे, तुमचं सिग्निफिकन्स काय आहे आणि गॅप इन एक्झिस्टिंग रिसर्च वर्क काय आहे, ह्या गोष्टी तुम्हाला कन्सिडर करणं आवश्यक आहे. करंट रिसर्च सिनॅरिओ काय आहे, म्हणजे स्टेटस काय आहे, ह्या अशा काही गोष्टी आहेत की त्या तुम्हाला या इंट्रोडक्शन मध्ये कन्सिडर करणं आवश्यक आहे. आणि स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्रॉब्लेम नंतर मग इंट्रोडक्शनच्या शेवटी एक पॅराग्राफ मध्ये तुम्ही स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्रॉब्लेम जे आहे, तुमचं मेन काय स्टेटमेंट असणार आहे प्रॉब्लेमचं, तुमचा मेन इश्यू काय आहे, तुमचा कन्सेप्ट काय आहे, ते तुम्हाला इथं मेन्शन करणं आवश्यक आहे. त्याची डेफिनेशन तुम्ही त्याचं नेचर देऊ शकता आणि त्याला एक्सटेंड सुद्धा तशा पद्धतीनं करू शकता. तर अशा पद्धतीनं महत्वाची कन्सेप्ट तुम्हाला कन्सिडर करणं आवश्यक आहे. जे आपण इंट्रोडक्शन मध्ये सब थीम्स किंवा सब पॉइंट्स बघितलेले आहे, रॅशनली, जस्टिफिकेशन, सिग्निफिकन्स ऑफ रिसर्च वर्क आर पर्पज वी कॅन से, त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला काही इम्पॉर्टंट ऍस्पेक्ट्स कन्सिडर करणं आवश्यक आहे आणि ते मी इथे देत आहे. इन दिस पॉइंट वी कॅन कन्सिडर इम्पॉर्टंट addressing the national context problem, bridging the knowledge gap, whatever knowledge gap you have found, that we have to consider in order to write the research proposal, that we have to represent, that you have to submit as far as your research proposal is concerned. And again we have to mention that how it is useful to the society or community. What are the present status of affairs, that we have to mention as far as this introduction point is concerned. Affected stakeholders, which stakeholders are going to affect in this research proposal that we have to mention as far as research proposal is concerned. So these are the points which are very, very important in order to write the introduction, and we can see rationally justification, significance of the research work. Scope and limitations of the study. We can also mention the scope and limitations of this aspect. So this is also very, very important in order to have the proper writing of research work. So after that, again, we have to consider the another point, that is hypothesis or assumptions. So this hypothesis and assumptions, supposition, this hypothesis or assumption is nothing but the supposition or proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidences for the further investigation. In science, generally, a hypothesis is an idea or explanation that you then test through study and experimentations. So outside science, a theory or guess can also be called as a hypothesis one. But as far as science proposal is concerned, science research proposal is concerned, you should consider your hypothesis nothing but an idea or explanations that you then test through the study and experimentation. So this is also very important in order to have the correct research proposal. Now let us come towards the next important point, that is literature review one. So this is not just a summary of literature. In literature review, give credit to those who have laid the groundwork for your research work. Describe unique contribution of each fellows in your this literature review. Ensure that you are not only collecting or reinventing previous work, but we are going to justify the literature review work. Demonstrate yourself. Demonstrate your understanding of theoretical and research issues related to your research questions. Show your ability to critically evaluate relevant literature information. Indicate your ability to integrate and synthesize existing literature. Convince your leader that your proposed research will make a significant and substantial contribution to the literature. This point should be covered in literature review. बऱ्याच जणांचा लिटरेचर रिव्ह्यूज मी बघितलेला आहे. यांनी लिटरेचर रिव्ह्यू मध्ये बऱ्याच विद्यार्थ्यांनी जसंच तसं तिकडचं जे रिव्ह्यू आहे किंवा टायटल आहे किंवा त्यांचा रेफरन्स आहे तो घेऊन जसा त्याचा कट आणि पेस्ट केलेला आपल्याला निदर्शनात येतो. मित्रांनो, आपल्याला आपल्या भाषेमध्ये, आपल्या स्वतःच्या लँग्वेज मध्ये, सिंपल लँग्वेज मध्ये त्या कंट्रीब्युटरनं किंवा त्या रिसर्च फेलोनं काय काम केलेलं आहे ते काम त्यांच्या नावासहित आपल्याला रिप्रेझेंट करणं आवश्यक आहे. तर अशा पद्धतीनं तुम्ही त्याचं रेफरेशन किंवा त्यांचं रेफरन्स किंवा सायटेशन यामध्ये विथ नेम कंट्रीब्यूट करू शकता आणि लिहू शकता मित्रांनो. आणि ते फक्त तसं लिहून शक्य नाही, जसं आपण म्हणू की त्यामध्ये तुम्हाला हेही सांगणं गरजेचं आहे की तुम्हाला जो त्यांचं वर्क आहे ते चांगल्या पद्धतीनं समजलेलं आहे, त्याच्यातील थेरॉटिकल ऍस्पेक्ट्स काय आहेत हे तुम्हाला समजलेले आहेत आणि त्यांच्या त्या लिटरेचर रिव्ह्यू मधून त्यांनी कुठले क्वेश्चन्स अराईज केलेले आहे आणि त्यावर तुम्ही कशा पद्धतीनं सोल्युशन देत आहात या गोष्टी तुम्हाला यामध्ये मेन्शन करणं आवश्यक आहे मित्रांनो. सो aim and objective. Next point is aim and objective. The purpose of this research is to, first of all, that we have to mention in aims one. Aim should be short but general statement of intent that we have to mention as far as aim is concerned. The aim is what of research and the objective is how. See, first of all, in order to consider aim, what we have to consider, first of all, we have to see the what of the research, that is nothing but aim. तुमचं एम म्हणजे काय मित्रांनो, तर तुम्ही आपण स्वतःलाच जर अशा प्रकारचा क्वेश्चन विचारला, व्हॉट ऑफ द रिसर्च किंवा तुमचा रिसर्च काय आहे, हे शॉर्टकट मध्ये आपण आपल्याला स्वतःला विचारलं तर तुमच्या लक्षात येईल की यू विल गेट अ क्लिअर aim of your research proposal that we have to mention. And this aim is generally, we can say, they are usually written in broad terms. They set out what you hope to achieve at the end of project. हे आपल्याला इथं मेन्शन करणं आवश्यक आहे की आपला प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट झाल्यानंतर आपलं एम जे आहे, आपलं जे उद्देश आहे तो काय आहे हे आपल्याला मेन्शन करता आलं पाहिजे. अँड व्हॉट अबाउट द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह सील? ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह मीन्स व्हॉट? Objective is very specific statements that define practical steps you will take to achieve your aims one. आणि हे जे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह आहेत, हे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह 3-4 पॉइंट्स मध्ये असू शकतात, 5-6 पॉइंट्स मध्ये असू शकतात. ते 5-6 सेंटेन्स मध्ये जरी असले तर वन पॉइंट वी शुड रिमेंबर that should be mostly specific one. That should be specific, and what work you are going to complete, your practical work, that we have to mention in your objectives. That is very important. Means what outcome will be there after specifying this your work, that we have to mention as far as your the research proposal is concerned. Now let us see the next point, methodology. Methodology is used generally the selection of appropriate approach, tools, techniques to be used, data collection techniques should be used, data processing, analysis, interpretation of techniques should be there, data information or presentation technique should be there. And I think there is a separate lecture on methodology, so that's why I think it is important to skip this point much more one. So actually there are number of points, number of detailed matters that we have to discuss as far as methodology is concerned. But what I would like to mention over here as far as methodology is concerned, see, in methodology you should give the specific tools and techniques which we are going to mention one. Give your methods of working that we have to mention. Give your analysis process, give your interpretation process, and data information or presentation techniques. These important points is to be covered in methodology. Now let us come towards the next point, that is research ethics. So any study involving human and animal subject will need ethical approval, which will usually be from the university ethics committee. So research ethics are the set of ethics that govern how specific and other research is performed at the research institutions such as universities, and how it is disseminated. If you are using animals in your research, you should always be sure that your experiment are both necessary and well designed. You should also show respect for animals you are using. Make sure that they are properly cared of and all that. Most universities have an ethics committee. This is required to scrutinize all research proposal to ensure that they do not raise any ethical issues. So these are the some aspects which should be considered in order to have the research ethics one. Now timeline. In order to submit the research proposal for any funding agency, this point is very important. That means the plan of work or time schedules, because they have given the time limits in order to complete your work, and that we have to mention. How will you complete your research work within a stipulated period? That we have to mention in this timeline. It helps you keep your experimental design in correct order also. Avoid date times while writing the or while giving the time schedule. Avoid date times. When building your timelines, you should consult with other students in your lab that have done similar studies. Means that will tell you how much time will require to complete such type of work one. So here is some sample systematic work plan to complete the proposed research work within stipulated period is given. Now second important criteria that we have to mention as far as the research proposal is concerned, that is budget one. Give you an appreciation of research cost. This is very important. Because whenever you are going to submit the research proposal for any funding agency, we have to give these points. So in order to submit your proposal, you have to mention detail about your budget or cost one. So how much cost will required in order to complete this project, that we have to mention. We have to give the specific points that I have given already on here. That is the how much amount will required for manpowers, how much items are there, consumable items are there, traveling cost should be there, equipment should be there, contingencies should be there, overhead charges should be there, and total content should be there. So in this way, we can mention almost all points that is very important in order to have the budgets one. While giving the budget, need for the specific technologies, what we are going to purchase in budget, that we have to mention. In sometimes we have to also submit the detail about we can say the name of that equipments and all detailed informations regarding the your equipment and other expenditures. Need for other financial request means is it if you are going to conduct the conference and other activities, that we have to mention in this budget also. So in this way, and again, we have to give this justification for budget also. So these are the some important points which should be considered while giving the budgets. Now let us come towards the next point, that is the chapter scheme or chapter outlines. So in this way, one general chapter outline we can give, that is introduction, experimental method. First chapter should have the introduction, second chapter should have experimental method, third chapter should have the determination of binary complexes, or fourth chapter. This is general, this is we can say a general outline of chapter scheme which we can consider as far as the overall theme is concerned. Now, again, this is one of the most important point as far as the research proposal is concerned, that is expected outcomes. Outcomes should describe what you want to happen after your activity is completed. That we have to do. The outcome are the changes or results that organization expects to be achieved after successful completion of the project. Outcomes could be quantitative or sometimes qualitative or both. Good outcome statements are specific, measurable, and realistic. So these are the some important points which should be considered. Again, your outcome should be we can say mostly related with aim and objectives as far as the your research proposal is concerned. Now, second important point that we have to think is how to consider the bibliography or references. So there are various type of reference styles are there as far as the theses are concerned, dissertations are concerned, research proposal are concerned. But the most important is the APA style. So APA means American Psychological Association reference style. This is generally considered by education, psychology, and science one. There is also another reference style, that is MLA, Modern Language Association style. It is used by humanities department, or we can say humanities subjects. You may use any style, not necessarily you go through APA one, because it is depending upon your work, depending on the specific agencies where we are going to apply, and a number of aspects are there. But what is most important, it should be in alphabetical order, it should be properly cited, it should have the uniformity. If suppose if you are going to consider initial names first of all, then you keep initial name throughout while giving the references. If you are considering surname first, then you can write surname first in almost all references. This point should be considered as far as writing the references or bibliography. Here, one specific reference I have given that I think somewhat good as far as the referencing is concerned. Now, last point, that is the conclusions one. So this conclusion should be considered while state about feasibility of the proposed research study. In conclusion, upcoming challenges, what are the upcoming challenges that we have to consider as far as conclusion is concerned. Again, upcoming threats, difficulties, hindrance, that we can mention. Make a conclusive remarks in conclusions. That is most important as far as the conclusion point is concerned. So generally we can say, in conclusion, we have to give the overall important aspects or results which are obtained in the your work, or which you are going to conclude as far as research proposal is concerned. So in research proposal, what you are going to conclude, or what should be the important aspects that will cover almost all challenges that we can mention as far as research proposal is concerned. So here actually there is no results and all that, and that's why we cannot give the results and important aspects. So in order to avoid that aspect, what we have to important here, what should be the upcoming challenges that we can mention, what may be the difficulties or hindrance that may be mentioned in conclusions one. So these are the some important aspect as far as conclusion is concerned. Now let us come towards the another important point, that is dissertations one. Again, like the research proposal, here are some different aspects or different names, terminologies of this dissertation. That is, sometimes it is also known as thesis, project report, research projects, and it is long type of essay of writing on particular subject. It is an idea that is discussed and presented with evidences in order to show that it is true and reliable one. So again, as far as dissertation is concerned, there are some basic structures that we have to see as far as dissertation is concerned. See, first of all, there are title page. There is title page, certificate we have to give, declaration we have to give, acknowledgement we have to give, table of content we have to give, abbreviation if there that we can mention, list of tables we can mention, list of figures we can give, and then again abstract we can give also. Introduction, again we have seen the introduction in research proposal. Such type of introduction we have to consider as far as dissertation is concerned. Literature review we have to consider, material and method we have to consider, experimentation, result and discussion, conclusions, references, and appendix is there that we can also consider as far as dissertation is concerned. In PG projects, here we can give title, introduction, scope and importance, literature review, methodology, experimental detail, result and discussion, outcomes or conclusion, reference list. Likewise, we can give details. So whatever points are there in this dissertation, almost all points we have covered in our research proposal also. So that point we can consider as far as the dissertation is concerned. Now, due to the limitations of times here, see here, what is important aspects and what are not the important points should consider while writing the research proposal, that we have to see. Do professional looking proposals. This is do's and don'ts one that we have to see. Produce or prepare professional looking proposal. This is very, very important because this is the mirror of your presentation or representations. Make it interesting and should not be bored one. It should be informative, meaningful. Write easy way to read one. Don't go don't use complicated sentence that is not meaningful. So here always use the easy way to write the proposals. Use clear headings and subheadings also. Be concise and precise while writing both things one. Check spelling and grammar also. This is also very, very important as far as both things are concerned. Presentation in accurate and acceptable format. Do not word which you do not understand. Do not word which is not so important. So in this way, these are the some important point which we have to discuss one. So here my presentation is over. Thank you very much, sir. Hello, sir.
Madam.
Yes, sir.
It was a very nice session, sir. And I hand over to Mr. Nikhade, sir, for vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Are you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Good morning to one and all gathered here. On this wonderful morning, I would like to present vote of thanks. We take the golden opportunity to thank respected chief guest and resource person, Dr. B.K. Magre sir, Professor, Department of Chemistry, Shivaji College, Kannad, District, Aurangabad, for giving valuable information on how to write research proposals and dissertations. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank organizing committee members for this workshop on research methodology, Mr. Deshmukh sir, Dr. Modak madam, Dr. Markandar madam, Dr. Patil madam, Mr. Shinde sir. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Dr. A. Chandramouli sir, Principal, Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Savli, for guiding us. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, I would like to thank all the students, research scholars, and dignitaries attending this program. Thank you. Once again, I would thank everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
very
you, sir.
much.
Thank you, Honorable Principal, Dr. Deshmukh, sir, and all your organizing committee. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very nice lecture, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you,
सर पीपीटी सेंड कर सकते क्या
sir. Any question?
सर पीपीटी सेंड कर सकते मेल पे
हाँ ठीक है, मैं सर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा
ओके
और
सर
हाँ और ग्रुप पे सेंड कर दूंगा.
ओके सर थैंक यू
Okay. Thank you, dear participants. Thank you all.